guys, so I just got back from Germany today, and if I look tired, it's because it's about 4 o'clock in the morning in my mind. But when I got home, I went and saw Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Men Tell No Tales as a conclusion to my Pirates of the Caribbean series, which I've had a lot of fun shooting. So I was definitely excited for this movie, but excitement isn't the right word. I think extreme curiosity is better, because I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw the trailer for this movie, I was like, okay, this could be either really good or it could be horrible. But as you guys know, I'm a big fan of the Pirates movies for the most part. I love the first two, and I kind of love the third one too. I enjoy the fourth one, even though it's not as good. But the most recent one came out like 5 years ago, so a big question is, do we even care about it at this point? And I think the answer is probably not a lot of people, but I think I am one of the exceptions. So basically, in this movie, you have Jack Sparrow, who's trying to find the Trident of Poseidon to get the undead Captain Salazar off his back, who he defeated out years ago. And then you have Barbossa, who took Blackbeard's ship from the last movie, who's also going after the Trident. Then you have Captain Salazar, who's trying to get it so he can just control the sea and everything around it. And this isn't a spoiler alert, I think, because most people were pretty much assuming this, and you find out in the first minute of the film. Henry Turner, aka Will Turner's and Elizabeth Swann's son, is trying to find the Trident so he can break Will Turner's curse, so he doesn't have to be all barnacle-y from working on the Dutchman. And crazy convolutedness ensues, and we have our film. So I've been kind of grazing some general reviews, and it looks like overall the reviews have been on the more negative side. And to be perfectly honest, that doesn't surprise me for a couple of reasons. Not the least of which being, as I already said, the last one came out 5 years ago. So who still cares about this franchise? Probably not a lot of people. I, on the other hand, do. And for the most part, I had a good time with this movie. I definitely liked it better than on Stranger Tides, and I think part of the reason was they brought back more of the same cast. Like, there were certain old faces that you see that you missed, and it was just good to see them again if you remember and care about them. Although some of them, I feel like they were supposed to have died in the fourth unofficially. In all honesty, it feels like they just kind of ignored the fact that 4 happened, aside from the fact that, Barbossa has Blackbeard's ship. But no, I feel like they were trying to harken back to the original trilogy and have the same kind of spirit. And for the most part, I think they kind of did. It was definitely very fast-paced, and it was fun to watch, and there was never a part where I think I was bored or dull, because it just kept moving, so it was fine. So as I've said in my previous 2 reviews, I know some people have just gotten completely sick of Jack Sparrow at this point, like this franchise, and just don't care. Once again, I still enjoy seeing Jack Sparrow. And for the most part, I think he was still very funny in this movie. I think this is probably the weakest he's been in any of the films, I will say that, but I think that's partially just due to the fact that the script isn't as good, which does lead me to one of my other caveats, the fact that the movie isn't as funny as the other ones. It's not nearly as witty and clever. So you have Javier Bardem, who plays the villain, and he does a good job. He's very over the top. I think my biggest problem with it, though, is I wasn't a huge fan of the look of him. I thought that it kind of took away from this character. And one thing I was pleased with, they actually, I feel, went the extra mile to have a lot of tangible locations and actual practical effects, something I very much appreciate about the other 4 films. But whenever it came back to him and his undead crew, it looked very CGI and out of the place. Honestly, it kind of seemed like a rip-off version of Davy Jones's crew, just not as good CGI. While we're on the subject of CGI, I will also say the climactic battle action scene relies very heavily on CGI. And I don't blame them, because what they do is something that could not be done without CGI, and I don't know how much better they could have made it. That mixed with the fact that it's not a fantastic finale, kind of was just sort of subpar at the end of a movie that I thought was pretty consistently entertaining. The kid who plays Will and Elizabeth's son, I thought he worked with the part. I'll say the female lead, I completely forget her name, but I thought those two, they didn't have the same spirit and charisma that Will and Elizabeth had in the first 3. But I thought they worked for the most part. And it was cool to see Will and Elizabeth back for the very short amount of time that they're actually in. But it is still kind of cool. And as always, it's always great to hear the original Pirates of the Caribbean theme. They incorporated a lot of the original theme with my favorite tracks from At World's End, which I specifically said I love, and some new stuff. Hans Zimmer didn't actually do the music for this one, it's some other guy. But yeah, the music was great and I loved it. It added to the adventure of the story. So yeah, overall guys, I had a fun time with Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Men Tell No Tales. It wasn't amazing, it wasn't crap, which it could have been. I'm not necessarily going to tell everyone to go out and see this, because I know If you are a longtime Pirates of the Caribbean fan like me, I think you will enjoy it, and I'll say go see it. But if you're kind of sick of the franchise at this point and only enjoy like the first or maybe second film, I'm sure you will be left very disappointed and not enjoy the film. But me, I'm going to give Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales the same rating as I gave the last one, even though I like it a little more, and that is a B-. Guys, thank you so much for watching as usual. I've had a lot of fun putting together these reviews for the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please click on any of my other videos on my channel right now. But you know what you should do? You should click here to subscribe to my channel so you get updates for when I actually put out the new videos. And if you want to comment below and let me know what you think, please do. I always love hearing from you guys and knowing what your thoughts are on the matter.